What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at the Gramercy Theater, and we got Colta Luna here. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, it's not really my name, but
Johannes of Colta Luna.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today. So one thing I was really curious about is we spoke on the phone last year to talk about A Dawn to Fear and everything regarding that. One thing I was really curious about is the last album was your collaboration with Julie Christmas. So being that this is just Colta Luna now, do you consider this like a follow-up to that collaboration, or do you think that this is more of a follow-up to like Eternal Music or something like that?
No, it's definitely a follow-up to Mariner. I count that as any other album. It was the same kind of work put into it. It was the same thought put into it. It was the same. We've been following a pretty pre-decided trajectory since 2006. The Mariner was a part of that as well. Well, I mean this. I don't fear wasn't a part of that, but that was a consequence of everything we've done before. So, yeah.
Interesting. Did maybe collaborating with her on the last album open up some new ideas for A Dawn to Fear?
No, but it was kind of an endpoint to what we had done. I mean, even if we wouldn't have made the collaboration with Julie, the album we would have done would have been the same theme. Would probably be other songs and stuff like that, but thematically it would be the same album.
Very interesting. I've always thought that Colta Luna's music is very experimental, from having elements of like avant-garde and post this, post that, and all that. So it's fair to say that with every Colta Luna album, you've always been able to experiment and take a new approach, right?
I guess. I mean, we just write music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have like a preconceived idea on how you want like something to sound like? Because when you compare like the 2001 self-titled album.
Yeah, I mean, apart from this album, like pretty much every album that we done, we have had an aim, something like a story that we have tried to tell. With that said, I mean, you never know how music's gonna end up in the end, but we've always had a very defined idea of where we want to go production-wise. But when it comes to writing, like it's just you just write.
Yeah. Does you mentioned you have like a story? Can the story itself, obviously, it could determine the lyrics, but can it also determine the music as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can take one example is. When we did Vertical, for example, it just sounded very sterile and strict so one thing we decided that we were only going to play downstrokes on the guitar. I mean that's one very extreme example.
Very punk rock.
Yeah, just that downstrokes to make it like less organic, more like strict and. So yeah, it determines everything from the artwork to video to production, even the arrangement of the songs themselves. So yeah, it kind of go through everything, which was kind of interesting now with A Dawn to Fear when we waited for the story instead of starting off with a story or a storyline. We kind of just went with whatever came up, and then out of that figured out what story was hidden behind all those riffs and all that.
Can the story be open to interpretation, or is the goal for Colta Luna to almost kind of like engage the listener into what the album is about and everything?
When it comes to our music, I mean, people can interpret it however they want, but there's actually, there's a true answer to it. I mean, I don't. Well, art can probably be free in different forms, but yeah, people can interpret it. But I'll tell you if you're wrong.
Okay. That's wow.
Yeah.
I love that, because a lot of musicians, and sometimes I almost think it's a cop out where people say
it is. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, we want people to come up with their own interpretation.
Yeah.
You just want people to sort of like, you're not going to hesitate on telling somebody what it means
if they ask.
Yeah.
But I mean, yes, it's a cop out. very often. But I also think, I mean, I like the idea that like art can have like can get different lives and like different direction depending on who's listening to it, and that goes for all art. But like if you're gonna put me on the spot and ask me, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely, I don't do stuff without any thought into it apart from this album. But the thing is, even though we started off without having a story to tell, I was waiting for the story to kind of reveal itself. And when we had written a couple of songs, I remember, especially when me and Fredrik were like discussing, okay, what story lies behind this, and then we kind of defined it after. So I mean, there's some real ideas in there, and a distinct idea behind everything, and what the songs and the lyrics stand for.
Yeah. When it comes to like when it comes to writing, not even just the story, but the music in general, does inspiration or an idea sometimes come out of nowhere, or do you have to like put yourself in a certain element in order for the creativity to flow?
Well, my problem right now is that I don't have a choice. I have the like hours between 10ish and 1ish a.m. when the kids have gone to sleep and I've cleaned up their mess, and if I'm lucky, I don't have anything else to do. That's the hours when I can work, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
goddamn kids,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're a handful, and yeah, there's definitely a life post kids, but I mean, it's definitely worth it. And actually, I mean, it kind of puts you on the spot when you have to do something. You have to be creative during these hours.
Yeah, because almost like it becomes a new form of release in a way, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's definitely one aspect of it. But another one is just like, okay, this is the hours I have. I better get things done.
Yeah, so you almost like work better under pressure in a way.
Yeah, I work much better under pressure, absolutely. But I mean, we never have pressures in the form of timelines and all that. It's not like we. I mean, previously we have had like booked studio time without having the songs ready. Like, we better have these songs ready until this, we're going into the studio. But not anymore. So. But I mean, and sometimes I just play the same thing for an hour, the same riff, just trying to get into the mood. And sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes I just play for myself.
Yeah, of course. And but like we kind of touched upon it a little bit though. But like when you're playing for yourself, and then when you're playing with your band, I'd imagine that art comes out of art. So your band members can also help you come up with new ideas, and you help them come up with new ideas, right?
I mean, maybe I said that in the interview with you, because I find myself saying this all the time, is that I know two things when I present an idea to the collective of Cult of Luna. Is that one, it's not going to sound like I've wanted it to be, wanted it to sound, and two, I know it's going to sound much better.
Yeah, I remember you saying that in the phone interview.
Because everybody's so talented, very talented musicians in the band, and they have their distinctive style of how they do stuff. And like, I could never come up with like guitar leads like Fredrik do. Like, I do my leads the way I do it, and he does his the way he does it. And the same thing with Andre and Thomas and Christian. They do their own stuff. So all together, it becomes the product of what we are.
Of course. And I have two more questions for you. Going to the guitar leads, actually, do you have like a music theory for, like, do you know like what scale you're working on, so all your guitar work's improvised?
Look, my mom put me in guitar class when I was like 11 to 12. It was so boring, so I did it for a couple of months, and then I started playing. I met this friend who's still a great guitar player, and he taught me how to play like punk and hardcore. And then I got interested in the instrument, and I practiced for, I pretty much locked myself in for 2-3 years, just practiced. And then we start touring. Like, I've never been able to play fast solos and stuff like that. I actually started taking just 1 or 2 guitar lessons because I wanted to learn. I had I felt so bad. Like, we're a touring band. I can hardly fucking play the guitar.
So you took lessons out of a guilty conscience?
Yes. Like, I think I took 1 or 2, and then I was like, oh, screw this. I'm not. Like, I don't even want to do this. I'm not into solos. I hate them. And like, at that point, this was maybe like 15 years ago. I just realized, look, I'm very limited when it comes to how technical I am as a guitar player, but I think I managed to work with what I got, and I don't care because I can manage. Like, I know everything I need to know to write music.
Yeah. A teacher once said to me, it doesn't matter what you know or how well you know it, as long as if it sounds good, what difference does it make?
I mean, I think there definitely can be... I mean, you have your advantages if you're like a school musician. But I also feel like, especially when it comes to guitarists, that it limits them creatively, because sometimes I feel that really great guitarists, they want to show that they're really great.
And that's why they have like 17-minute solos and
but
stuff.
You know what? I think, this is me personally, like, I don't like guitar solos. I mean, and I'm a guitarist, I'm a musician. I kind of, which kind of just destroys the experience of listening to music, because I kind of analyze everything. And I still, like, I can't separate, like, there's some great solos out there. I'm not disputing that at all. There's some really great solos out there, but most of them, like, okay, great. It sounds exactly like 50,000 others. And I rather hear a good melody instead.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And, you know, I don't care how good you could shred. Focus on the whole song. You like, or just do a straight guitar solo album. But
yeah, that I can fall asleep to.
There you go. Yeah. And the final question I wanted to ask you is, you know, I had the privilege of actually watching you sound check today and like seeing like your use of production. And when I saw you on the tour you did here with Julie Christmas, I mean, I saw so much emotion and the interaction. For you, is there a similar energy in playing live as you do when you're songwriting, or is it a separate art altogether that you have to perfect?
No, it's not. I mean, it's. I need to get into the mood, and it like. I don't get into, like, playing live is a very cathartic, when it's like it should be, when it's like, not when you're drifting off in your thoughts and you're starting thinking of different things. But yeah, it's definitely as close as this atheist gets to feel any closeness to something bigger. So yeah, there's definitely some aspect of like personality trait that I don't get to channel any other way.
Okay, so it's almost like you almost portray a character on stage or something.
No, because it's still me.
Okay,
it's not a character at all. It's not like it's just the different a part of me that you don't see very often.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much only when I write and when I perform.
Mm-hmm. That's a very awesome way of putting it.
And when you piss me off.
Okay, well, hopefully I don't piss you off. So before we go, I'd like to thank you so much for your time today. Yeah. It's going to be a great show tonight, sold out at Gramercy Theater. Mm-hmm. Is there just anything else that you would like to promote for the Dawn to Fear record cycle that you're allowed to say, of course?
No.
Okay.
I wish I knew some. No, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Everybody, Johannes of Cult of Luna, A Dawn to Fear, out now on Metal Blade. Pick it up while supplies last forever. We'll see you next time on Heavy New York.